Good morning, guys, and welcome to a new pre-market analysis. It's been a while, and I'm actually on the wrong chart. Am I? No, I'm not. Oh, it's still in trades by map. Well, let's keep it that way then. Yeah, I'm actually on the right charts. Welcome to a new pre-market analysis. It's been a while, and yeah, haven't looked that much at the charts yet. This year, I know I did a couple analysis before I left on holiday. Oh, what? That was over here, and here I went on holiday. So, and actually, it played out quite well. You can see how it got up there, took that liquidity, and then moved to the downside to NFP lows, and actually came into a discounted area from where we can look for long. So, I know it's Friday, but what we can do is just clean this up, and we can actually watch the weekly real quick. I'm pretty sure we took previous. Yeah, of course. So we're just going with this one. And then we used it. So it's not completely right, but or actually let's copy that one. Oh, it actually hit perfect. And put it there. And yeah, this is looking clean. This is looking good. This is looking very predicted, very understandable. So let's just zoom out and start on the weekly so we know where we are. We have this key level we tapped it. Oh, why is it not? Thank you. So we put it in the middle. So we have this key level where we tapped into. We have this overall bearish range we're in. We have this overall bullish range we're in. And basically we reach into premium pricing here. So we're looking for lows, but that's really high time frame. There's a lot more room to the upside before we can move to the downside. We doesn't mean that we need to get there, but there is more than enough room to the upside if we want to. Then the first like minor could be an inducement on the high time frame or a major inducement then for in terms of timing is that we have this bearish break with this bullish structure. We have this bearish break, but we never reach back into this kind of pricing of this bullish structure. Oh, sorry. So therefore, the lows are still valid. First of all, because we have this area to the downside. Second of all, because we have this bearish structure. Then if you zoom in further, we have this internal bullish structure going on over here. And we actually tap into that discount or premium area of that bearish range. But we are still bullish on this range. And as we are scalpers and lower time frame traders, intraday traders, we're not really bothered about like entering on this time frame. So we focus on the more recent structures, which is what brings us now down to the bearish structure over here. And we actually have this bearish range. We took the high, so what we can do is actually mark that out as a liquidity grab, where we took the liquidity to the upside, and then we got that move to the downside. And what I can see is that we tap into there, into that kind of supportive area-ish area. It's an area, it's not a level, it's an area. And really from there, we can start to look for long trades. And now I want to zoom in because I see there's a lot of noise here. There's a lot of things going on and it's distracting me. So what I'm gonna do is just go to the daily real quick. And mark out our daily high. And our previous daily low. That way we reduce the noise a little bit. Now we zoom back into the 1 hour time frame. There we go. Now what can we see here? We have this. Essentially, we have this as our bearish-ish, bearish-ish range. But that never happens. So what happens here is that we get lower time frame structures we can work with now. Let's say just like I did over here, where we had a bullish break, bearish break. Now with this bearish break, from this high down to that low. So that's already quite refined, redefined, or refined. But I'm gonna take it a step further and I'm gonna say, okay, if we just take off the Asian range for a minute, go to the 30-minute, or better, take the 15 and take our dots. What can we see? And you can start from everywhere, but over time you will get why we start at a certain point. So we have where we break above here, tap into the gap. So we essentially break above the move that caused us to the downside. We have this high, which is followed by this low. Then we have a lower high. Actually, that's a bullish break, but essentially we get a lower low, we get a lower high, then we get a lower low. That is then followed by a bullish break. Right now. Nice. By this bullish break. And inside that discounted area of our now bullish range, we have a nice demand zone. There we go. It's a 15-minute demand zone. And what's actually great is that if you zoom into this demand zone is that we can see how you have the bearish break here. So taking out that liquidity, then gives us a bullish break. So inducing buyers, then the induced buyers are taken out by this bearish break. And then we get to move to the upside. So that's a quite decent area. And as you can see, price literally just tap below this low into that induced break or that liquidity grab area. So if you just do it like this, or we have a liquidity sweep. I can keep it like that. This is then where the long move comes from, just below that, and pretty much same here where we take out this liquidity. Not really a bearish inducement or bullish inducement, fake move, but rather just taking out that liquidity and then moving to the upside. This is also New York session, so it's quite late on the day. But yeah, so and that's now realigned with, let me just pull one across here. True. That now has been realigned with with our high time frame structure. So looking where we are right now and turn on the Asian range again, we now have a lot more clarity in our most recent area and the area we want to focus on, right? So for today, then again, as we have that bullish break there, we can look for longs from these areas. We have Asia high. We've got Asia low down there. This is still intact. This is still at 7. Frankfurt open. So yeah, that's actually looking good. And I would say like get one of these areas here. So it's quite, you can see high, low, lower high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, bullish break, return to discount, bullish break. So if you want an area to long from, you could say, okay, we have this last leg. 5 minute, which is a 50-minute demand zone. We got some liquidity up here in the form of the trend line there. And we can actually see that this weekly level from last week is turning into some sort of support and resistance zone. If you just look at that, the reactions here, 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 it's just this area. It's not like it's an area, it's not one point. But yeah. So what I would be looking for today is probably longs from this demand zone, this small 50-minute demand zone. And if we don't get longs from there, then we wait for price either to come below here or up here before we can move. Either here, I don't know if I would be looking for shorts from this area because we are looking for higher pricing. We got a lot of liquidity still up here, but I would be definitely looking for longs from down here. So we got nice 2 areas to work with, either this one or this one. And if we don't get the move from there, because this is quite correctional still, then from here, then we can move from here. And if not from there, well, probably this will be out of London session already. So small window to trade with. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for EU today. Looking at DXY then, yeah, so this can still be liquidity. That's the whole point. If you look at EU as well, they're just kind of equal. So that's the thing I'm a little bit worried about. But we had that realignment on a low time frame nonetheless. So let's see. Then DXY, zooming out to see where we are. Still that bearish structure. We created one more leg. Tap into that discount area. Sorry, premium area. Potentially now moving lower from here, which means higher from or on EU. But as we mainly work with high time frame areas on DXY and liquidity areas, can clearly see that we have this liquidity right there. Although we have that break right there, which also can't be ignored. Hmm. Interesting. What also likes this, uh, this area. You can see that we kind of formed that wedge there, and then we move to the upside. Question is, why did we move? If you look at that wedge, why did we move to the upside? Well, we had that bearish break. It's not really clear actually. Like we took the liquidity. It looks clean, but like how can you explain it? Very lower time frame can bullish break, bearish break, liquidity to the downside taken. Did we? Did we? Yeah, we did. That makes sense. So we started to range kind of start to form a structure. We took liquidity to the downside, and then we had our next liquidity point here to the upside. So that makes sense in that way, in that way. If you would look for an explanation. What's interesting for me is that we now have this liquidity here, and we are still inside this bearish range. Can't ignore all this liquidity to the upside, especially this here with that huge gap there. I think that will be filled because it's a nice kind of support area around here. If you look at that, we got here, here. See if you pull that across. So yeah, not really confident yet in that bearish continuation from a high time frame point of view, which means that on EU probably the highest more probable setup would be to wait for price to get below here, as this is more of a cluster of candles rather than a structure that turned bullish. But a cluster of candles also means a area where price stagnated, where a lot of orders started to come into the market. Eventually, there were enough one-sided, so these are like two-sided orders, and eventually there were enough one-sided orders or a lack of other side orders. So price moved that direction. It didn't move very strong, so that's a thing. But essentially, yeah, just as I explained. Um, so let's see DXY mainly high time frame. I'm looking for lower pricing still, whether it's gonna be instantly from here or from here. I don't know. And I don't know if it's gonna move from here. We might as well move up here. So who knows? We still got these areas up here, so yeah. Then GU, my old friend, what are you doing? That's actually moving. Nah, it's still moving shit. Well, it'll turn bullish there. Let me just bullish then bearish. Got up there. Cost actually cost a bearish move. Just looks like liquidity to me, if you ask me. Yes, it is a bearish break, but in what sense? What a mess. weekly perspective, it's the same as on EU. Type in potential kind of bearish break, still bullish structure. So bit laggy. Actually, not a bit, really laggy. But essentially took the previous weekly high. Look at it's ranging. It's not clearly directional. That's why I don't like to market structure on, because I don't feel confident following the structure. And actually, you don't need to feel confident all the time. If you don't feel confident on a move, why would you take the move? Let's just wait for something that makes you feel confident in that sense. So it's just like on EU, this is more significant than this one, if you ask me. So I just keep that on. This one can go daily wise. We're days ahead of where we started. Ready to previous daily highs. Like in a certain way, it makes sense. But if you just look at the high time frame, how ranging the area is, I'm not sure whether this is the move. One thing I can tell you is that we took previous daily highs. That's good. You still got Asia highs being intact though. Zoom in. Yeah. Hmm. Like it could be a nice move. We took the daily high, but it's not really a daily high. Like it's just shitty. It's like the end of the day, price was already going up, you know. Then we get our self early sellers potential inducement. Could be here as well, but what's the big like we have to pick up some orders from that gap there, and then we move to the upside. What the fuck? Hmm. Yeah, I will wait for Asia highs and wait for price. Like it's about being patient anyway, so I don't know why I'm pushing it. Let's just wait for price to get up here, get above Asia highs, and then get short. That's it for EU or for GU. That's it really. There's no need. Oh, we could look for longs, so we could look for longs into that area, but we're already inside premium area, so it doesn't make sense to look for a long anymore. That's lower probability, although we would like to see price come up here. So if we would look for a long, then we have a huge area to work with. Yeah, so for GU, I'm just mainly focusing on these shorts. Don't need to force anything. It's not as clean as on EU. And for EU, actually, I'm just focusing on longs. And if it comes higher, it will realign with GU anyway. So that might give the shorts from that area. Then a little thing I just noticed here is that we have this kind of trend liney thing there over there. But like this looks clean, if you ask me. Pretty taken, move to the downside, but at the same time, if you look at this from this perspective, it's just this gap over here that had to be filled. bullish break, then an internal bullish break here. Like just taking liquidity, move from liquidity to liquidity. So this liquidity stake now next up is here. If there's not enough in here. So not really feeling GU. Not really feeling GU at the moment. So focusing on what's going to happen on EU. That's it for today, guys. Get you guys in the market. Wish you guys good luck. Bit of a messy one at the end here. As GU always leaves me, no, not always. A lot of times just leaves me confusing. It's the reason why I prefer one pair. Because you get used to market moves, everything that happens inside. So, yeah. All right. Catch you guys in the market. Good luck on your last day and peace out.